Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mystica here, and welcome back to Cupid, a visual novel. I first want to start off by saying I do apologize that it's been, I think, since a little over a week, or at least when this episode posts, it'll definitely be about a little over a week since the last episode. Now, I know by this point, though, Thanksgiving's already passed and everything, but to be honest with you, the main reason why I actually wasn't able to upload this next episode was mainly because our internet was just being dumb and we had to call someone out to deal with that. And unfortunately, because of the Thanksgiving holiday, they wouldn't be able to come out till Friday. In fact, right now, at the time I'm recording this, it's Saturday for me, but this episode, of course, won't be uploaded till Tuesday. So, let's go ahead and pick up where we last left off. And of course, the good thing is that now, since I found out from the last episode I recorded, because I can pause and save at any time in the game, we can actually kind of regulate how long these episodes are going to be, probably about 25 to 30 minutes. So, yay, hooray. So let's go ahead and continue onward. Where do we last leave off? Here we go. He invited the family over to his chateau and commented on how empty the building felt sometimes. Music was his guilty pleasure. It got him through the cold nights, he said with a sad grin. How he wouldn't mind a warm soul to touch. And before she could stop herself, Emily had begun to imagine his lips on her neck. On one of those cold, oh, hello, nights. Okay. Really? Thank you for that lovely imagery, Emily. Emily shook her head, trying to erase the thoughts in her mind. They were having a perfectly mundane conversation. She didn't know where those thoughts came from. Oh, don't worry about it, Emily. We all get those at times. We all do. Fortunately, her father didn't seem to notice. I know, thank goodness, right? Music and loneliness struck a nerve with Francis Parade. I'm sorry, I really need to learn to pronounce these characters' names. He'd immersed himself in his music tutoring, his students, and Catherine, ever since his wife had gotten sick. It had been 6 years. But sometimes the nights were cold. For Francis, the Marquis was speaking to his soul. He was a kindred spirit. He wasn't a pompous showboat like all the other royalty Catherine had played for. The Marquis even had a wine collection he wanted to show Francis. Such a down-to-earth, generous young man. Emily, your face is flushed. Are you all right? Seriously. I'm fine. Just the sun, probably. This was not true, of course. The afternoon sun had already lost most of its heat. Thankfully, Catherine provided a distraction. She ran towards their little huddle and flung her arms around her father's torso, chattering happily about gardens and butterflies. A young, ragged girl followed behind her. Emily wasn't sure how old the girl was. Her dirty blonde hair hid the left side of her face. You could just see faint traces of scars peeking through. A surge of motherly affection caught hold of her heart. "Hello there, young lady." The girl looked down at her toes, but she gave her a shy smile. "I see you made a crown of flowers. You look very pretty." "Thank you, madame." Catherine gave it to me. "Sister, this is Rosa. She's really nice. She knows the name of all the flowers in Sir Gilly's garden." "Catherine, there you go again with your silly names." "Sister, help me convince Papa to let Rosa stay with us." "Catherine?" "Papa, please let her stay with us. She doesn't have anywhere to go." "Now, Catherine, that is not very nice. Rosa here is a girl. She's not a kitten you can just pluck from the street and take home, like you always do with stray animals. Goodness knows we have all the stray cats of France living in our house." "Yes, I know she's not a kitten. I know she's a girl. But shouldn't we take her home even more so?" Francis sighed. Gilmes chuckled under his breath. He was clearly enjoying this exchange. "Your daughter has some very unique views, Sir Parade." "Well, Sir Gilly, what do you think?" "Huh?" Gilmes' face lost his casual bystander look. "You're a Marquis. I'm sure my father would follow your orders, right?" Oh, that's not fair, Catherine. Seriously. Shouldn't we take Rosa home? Gilmay's brows furrowed at being put on the spot so suddenly. He stole a glance at Francis, who was silently pleading him with his eyes not to humor the child. He cleared his throat. Well, I'm sure it's up to your father, since he owns the house. He will have to clothe and feed Rosa, you see. Yes, but I've got that all figured out. Ever since Sister moved to work, nobody minds the house anymore. And I have to wash the dishes every time. Ugh. Papa's so busy and we always have enough food for the two of us. If Rosa stays, then I wouldn't be so lonely on my own. She'll wear Sister's old clothes and we'll mind the house when both Sister and Father are away. She can wash the dishes sometimes and I'll wash them sometimes. Gilmay and Francis shared a look. And besides, if it were up to me, I'd have people take one girl home in their house and give her food. It doesn't quite work that way, Catherine. Girls don't even eat that much, not sure about boys. She thought for a bit. But I'm sure it's not too much that people can't take them home, too. One time I ate one whole plate of potatoes and my stomach hurt. If Rosa was there, I wouldn't have eaten so much. Maybe. Gilmay couldn't help but laugh. Francis rubbed his neck in embarrassment. I'm so sorry, sire. She's very headstrong. Father, I'm sure taking Rosa in wouldn't be much trouble for us financially, yes? My new work pays better. I'm sure we can adjust. Well, about that. Perhaps if Rosa works in my household, it wouldn't be much of a burden to your family, Sapriede. Sir Gilly is great. You are truly a kind soul, sire. Not at all. I'm sure I need her help more than she needs mine. Isn't that right, Rosa? In that case, I would love to offer my home to Rosa. I swear my throat's messing with me. Although I'm still worried that this is supposed to be more complicated, sire. What about her family or her friends? Are we violating any laws, perhaps? I'm not even sure. As long as it is consensual, sire, the details can be smoothed out later. The girl was quiet the whole time. She was looking at her toes or at Catherine. Rosa, do you have any family, relatives, or friends you stay with? No, sire. My mother died a long time ago. Oh, okay. So her mother is dead. Her mother is passed on. So I'm guessing the voice she hears is like remembering what her mom would or wouldn't say to her. But she guides me always. So please don't be compelled to mind me. No, don't go back to the streets, Rosa. It's September. It's going to be really cold soon. Yeah, if only it was cold where I live in September. Heck, I don't think we get cold weather where I live anymore. Sir Gilly will even give you work. Stay with us. But Catherine... Francis sighed in surrender. All right, she can stay for the night. Papa! Just for tonight. Then we'll see if she wants to stay for longer. Catherine, you cannot hold people in their place just because you want them there. Do you understand? If Rosa wants to leave, she may leave. You cannot keep her like an object. Gilmay cleared his throat. That is sound advice, Sir Parede. Yes, Papa, I understand. Rosa, please make yourself comfortable in our home. Thank you. Papa is the best. Catherine turned to Gilmay again. Sir Gilly, don't you think if everyone with a house takes one person home, nobody would freeze in winter? You should make it into a law. They'll obey you because you're a Marquis. And because you're tall. Oh, so people obey my orders because I am tall. What a compliment. Well, you're taller than my papa, at least. He'll never be a Marquis. Francis pulled on his daughter's ear with embarrassment. Catherine, mind your manners. I'm so sorry, sire. Gilmay shook his head, his eyes trailing over the Parede family. Emily watched them curiously. That same sadness once again surfaced for the briefest moment. You have a lovely family, Sarah. I am quite jealous. You make me want to settle down myself someday. He chuckled. Maybe. Emily's heart skipped a beat. Did he just look at her when he said that? She couldn't be sure. Catherine is perfect the way she is. It is one of the reasons why I am very invested in her. Gilmay knelt down so that he was eye to eye with Catherine. He patted his head. Or he patted her head, sorry. Okay, now from a side view, he's actually not too bad of a man as far as how his looks go, but anyway. You're a very intelligent and kind-hearted girl, Catherine. You are a star. Mon étoile? Okay. Someday I know you will change the world. At least I'd like to see you try. Oh, hello, what happened? Mother. Help me. What is going on? My chest. I can't breathe. No. Oh, hello. What's going on? Catherine. And now we're in chapter 2. La Piquere? It's funny, is it not? I don't know what we're hearing now. They always leave you. Such is the way of the world. Oh my goodness, why is this so loud all of a sudden? I've turned down the volume quite a bit. It sounds really loud. The more you love, the more you lose. Oh, it seems like they'll stay forever, but they never do. I'm the only one who stays, my lovely Rose. My love is the only love you need. You were always so weak. Always so loving to people who did not deserve it. I told you to get rid of her, didn't I? I told you to be wary. I knew it from the start, my Rose. She was... Oh, hello. She was nothing but selfish. She led you... Okay, we'll go with the second option. She led you astray. Well, that's not nice either. Catherine was a curse. She drove you to a love I warned you about. She knew you would... hello. I can't read. All this weird breathing is getting me off here. I knew she would just cause you pain. Oh my goodness. See, these are creepy answers. I'm glad she is dead. I'm glad you're back to me. Well, we'll just do this one. I was so worried about you, darling. She almost led you astray. Away from me. Trust in Mother, darling. I'm just glad to have you back to myself. Your silence bothers me, child. She was important to me, Mother. I loved her. Mother only laughed as Rosa screamed out her pain. Rosa felt strong arms shake her awake. Oh, okay, she's having a nightmare. Oh my goodness, okay, here we go. Rosa. She opened her eyes and was hit by a strange sadness that crushed her. She was dazed for a moment. Why was she so sad? And then she remembered. Her best friend was gone. She was gone. And he's dressed in a different outfit, I see. Rosa, how are you feeling? Gilmay sat by her bed, a hand in hers. Rosa didn't realize she'd been holding on to it tightly in her fitful sleep. She broke from his grasp and clutched her knees. Rosa? She remained silent. I came to check on you. You went into shock and lost consciousness. I can only imagine how hard it must have been for you to see her like that. Oh, something has happened. His words echoed in her brain, yet she did not register much of their meaning. Rosa still refused to speak, and Gilmay fidgeted with his glove. The wake will take place as soon as possible, Rosa. I just wanted to let you know that she's being taken care of. He's hiding something. There was a slight triumph in Mother's voice. He wants to get rid of her body as soon as possible. Don't you see it, child? Tell me you're not falling for this. Rosa was tired. Mother, always a cynic, would say such things. She hated anyone who came close to Rosa's heart. Rosa didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to deal with anything right now. All she wanted to do was wallow in her loneliness. To curl up inside the hole Catherine had left behind and sleep. My child, tell me you see it. Oh, here we go. Remember the fear in Catherine's eyes in her last days? Look at how he is unperturbed by Catherine's death. Let's choose the first option. You have seen it, haven't you? She was mostly hostile, but sometimes when her sanity returned, she was afraid. Afraid of this man. How well do you even know him, child? I've known him for as long as I knew Catherine, Mother. He is a close friend. I didn't ask how long you've known him, but how well. Beyond the mask that he displays in public view, do you even know his past? Do you even know any of his ambitions or secrets? He was always a private man, Mother. Think back, child. Isn't it curious how all his past relationships have ended in disaster? Everything he touches crumbles. That is not enough to accuse him of anything. You idiot. He is different. He does not belong. You have felt it too, haven't you? Rosa looked at Gilmay with new eyes now. A hint of doubt slithered out from beneath her sadness. Rosa wanted something to blame, a cask for all of her regrets. Gilmay seemed like the perfect candidate, didn't he? Yes, you're finally seeing it. Open your eyes, child. It made sense. Gilmay and Catherine's relationship began to pewter off into coldness right before she died. Her mental instability only served to compound the fracture in their relationship. Perhaps Gilmay was tired of her and had her killed off for convenience? Or perhaps Catherine, in her psychotic state, killed herself to spite him. Rosa stared at the man beside her. He is not to be trusted, child. He is a demon. It would be nice if I knew what the heck was going on, so apparently some time has passed. I don't know how long, but some time has passed, and Catherine's dead now, from what it sounds like, or she's dying, or I don't know. Clue me in, game. I would appreciate that. Gilmay returned Rosa's angry stare of a resolute look. I know you must hate me, Rosa. I am aware that I only aggravated Catherine's condition with my presence. I know the feeling when I am not wanted. He stood up, a hard yet kind look on his face. Just remember that I will always be here for you, as much as I was there for Catherine, even though she spat me out. Rosa bit her lip. When Catherine had refused to eat, it had been Gilmay who fed her and attended to her. Despite Catherine hurling abuse at him, he had tried to care for the sick woman himself. So what it sounds like now, because it says sick woman. In our previous chapter, Catherine was a child, and was referred to as a child, and now it's saying for the sick woman herself. So it sounds like as if time has passed. Catherine is older now, maybe she's become either in her late teens or early adult years, and a lot of stuff has happened. Lies. All lies. Keeping up appearances. I am really getting annoyed about the motherly voice that Rosa has in her head. Then what is it that he has done, Mother? Catherine committed suicide. Oh, now we know what happened. It was not by his hand that she died. Are you just going to leave it at that? Look at his face and tell me you trust him wholeheartedly. Rosa tried to search for the answer in Gilmay's eyes, but as always his face betrayed only few emotions. I don't know. Mother was screaming now. He killed her. I am sure he did. And you're letting him get away with it. Please, my head hurts. And you say you loved her. You never loved her, you selfish child. I've always known you were this selfish. Just like your father. Stop. You throw people away. Didn't you throw me away when I inconvenienced you? Admit it. You were secretly relieved I died. Okay, so her mother... I mean, we already knew this a little from before, but still. Okay, so... I am very curious if Rosa maybe is dealing with some sort of mental state herself, and that's the reason why she hears her mother's voice. I don't know. We'll see. No, stop it. She screamed back at that last voice. Her mouth quivered. Gilmay stared at Rosa in shock. The outburst had accidentally come out aloud. It pulled a plug that kept the tears from pouring out. Now her vision clouded and she blinked them away again and again. She was not sobbing. She did not even realize her face was wet. Gilmay and Rosa stared at each other, both kindred in their sorrow. He knelt down by Rosa's bed and wiped her tears with his hand. He did not say anything while doing this, and Rosa stared blankly ahead. It almost stunned her how many tears a person's eyes could carry. I loved her too, Rosa. He said it after a while. I know what you're feeling. She didn't know if it was her own, or if Mother's anger was somehow influencing her, but her chest heaved. She balled up her fist so tightly that her fingernails hurt. Shut up. She spat, and the man recoiled at the uncharacteristic bitterness of her words. Catherine was afraid of you in her last days. You did something to her. I know it. She could feel Mother inside her head, building up her anger. He has to be punished. You are to blame. He has to atone. I know you are guilty. He must be punished. Gilmay stared at her dumbfounded for a few seconds, but the man didn't try to appease her. He only stepped closer to Rosa and wrapped his arms around the hysterical girl. Let go of me. I hate you. Let me go. But Gilmay didn't. If you need something to hate, then I'll accept your hate. But you must accept my comfort, too. I need you too, right now, Rosa. You are the only one who loved her as much as I did. Gilmay's words brought back Catherine in Rosa's mind. Almost at once, the anger was replaced with a sadness so heavy she couldn't breathe. Why was she so angry again? She was focusing on anger instead of pain. It was easier. The real tears came all for the loss of the girl they both loved. Tomorrow was not going to come. There was only, right now, the loss and two friends mourning a loved one. Rosa cried until she thought she wouldn't be able to stop, and Gilmay quietly held her. Slowly, her weeping began to subside into sobs, and only then did he speak again. Stay in the chateau, Rose. I know you were thinking of leaving now that Catherine is gone, but I can't let you wander the streets again. I will take care of you. It's what Catherine would have wanted. Like a spell being broken, these words brought back her anger. How could you possibly know what Catherine wants? She pushed his arms away from her. She's dead. Gilmay's mouth pursed and he stepped away. I want you to go. Please leave me. Gilmay sighed and closed his eyes. I understand. He turned on his heels and left without another word. And he took the music with him, apparently. Oh, no, it came back. The music came back. Hours seemed like minutes to her. She would fall asleep and awaken in unfit intervals so often that she had lost the exact time. Awake, she would stare at a part of the wall with no coherent thoughts forming in her mind. One would think morning should be spent in a depressive frenzy. All the reasons to grieve are yours after all. She could wail now if she wanted. She could pull on her hair, curse the skies. She could reminisce the past, admire the frailty of human lives. Unfortunately, it was something less poetic. Pain was simple. It was clean. It was a well-sharpened knife that sliced through the heart in one stroke. No blood, no mess. Empty. When tears were spent, there was just a hole where your heart had been. The hurt called out to you. It lingered. But since there was nothing there anymore, you couldn't find where the pain ended and you began. Rosa slept all day. The sun had gone down twice before she shifted from her bed. Shoot, she slept for 2 days? Dang. She stood up slowly, deliberately, with a purpose. My child, you know I hurt when you're hurt. Already a surge of power flowed within her, fueled by her grief. The power filled her up, and there was so much emptiness inside that the energy seemed to saturate her whole body. Purpose was always a balm for grief. Mother, tell me what to do. Oh, hello. Justice or retribution? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm gonna go with retribution, because I don't know. Start with his guilt, child. Uncover his lies, crush his mask. He must pay for everything he has done. Oh, we got ourselves an achievement. A grudge. I'm very confused by this story now. I thought this was a love story. I'm now being mistaken. It's clearly a horror story. Rosa didn't speak, but she started to form the words in her mind, feeling them in her bones, giving life to every thought. She took a small knife and carved a symbol on her floor. It didn't need much. A guilt spell. Wait, were we doing witchcraft or something? It didn't aim to punish, it only aimed to inform. She needed to know how much guilt the man carried and the source of such guilt. If the guilt was concrete and came from a direct action, then she would know Gilmay did something to Catherine. It had been a while since she had used magic. Are we talking actual magic, or are we talking Wicca, or what sort of stuff are we talking here? It used to be the only way she could protect herself from the world. Mother had taught her, and now Mother guided her as she cast her spell. She needed a possession of the man. Rosa opted for his voice, still fresh from memory. She focused on the last conversation they shared. If you need something to hate, I will take care of you. I need you. His words made Rosa feel distress and confusion. Always, it was this way with him. The feeling wasn't foreign. It had been there for years. I will always be here for you. What the hell? Rosa felt a violent force upturn her stomach. It was that horrid lurch just before vomiting. You failed. The spell collapsed in her brain. Focus, idiot child, or you'll lose your chance. Rosa tried again. This time she focused on Gilmay's eyes. Cold, like flints of steel. Dark and fathomless. No grief except perhaps for the situation. No Catherine. No pain of loss. This didn't matter to her. Their relationship was dying anyway. Where was his guilt? Rosa dug deeper. She increased the chanting on her lips. No torment. No uncertainty. No guilt. Did the spell fail again? She searched once more and found nothing. There was no guilt in Gilmay's eyes. She could stop the spell now, knowing that he was innocent. If the spell had worked, then Gilmay was blameless. But this absence was most distressing. Rosa desperately pushed her mind further, almost wishing there was traces hiding beyond her reach. Guilt should be present in any loss, no matter how little. Don't we blame ourselves for our own loss? Don't we hate ourselves and punish ourselves even if it wasn't our fault? It didn't have to be real, but we need guilt to feel pain. But Gilmay didn't have a sliver of guilt. What the heck is going on? The vicious pain took hold of her again, squeezing her stomach with murderous intent. The pain was so great Rosa wasn't sure if the spell had failed or succeeded. Something is wrong. Before Rosa could agree with Mother, she felt a sharp pain in her throat. Rosa clutched her neck, scraping, scratching. A sharp, jagged lump was blocking her breathing. She could feel its edge crawl up her windpipe, tearing the soft walls as it moved about. Oh, good Lord, that's great. Thank you for the description. The pain did not stop. Oh, hello. Rosa fell to her knees and gagged. Huge drips of blood-spotted spit ran down her chin. She thrashed about like a woman being strangled. Mother remained calm, unaffected by Rosa's distress. Rosa was about to expel whatever it was. Tears ran down her face. The horrible acidic taste coated her tongue. Finally, she opened her mouth and forced the vile thing out. She kept her eyes shut, afraid to look at whatever had come out of her. But the choking feeling gripped her, and she puked again. And we don't get to see what it is? The liquid dripping down her mouth thickened and congealed. It wasn't spit anymore, but blood. It gathered around her knees in a growing pool. Rosa panted. Every breath was laced with pain. But the gruesome effect had finally stopped. She wiped the sweat on her forehead. Something on the floor reflected light. Okay. Apparently I just heard the doorbell. Sorry, I hope the recording doesn't pick that up. She struggled to comprehend what was in front of her. She reached out with her hand, and the prick of something sharp made her recoil. She tried again, this time seeing more clearly. Rosa picked them up with shaking hands. Oh! Oh my god. Oh, that's creepy. Needles. In her palms were a handful of long, metal needles. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Apparently a package came in for me, and I had to go get it, so there's probably going to be a quick little cut in the video, sorry. She regurgitated them along with blood and jagged pieces of flesh. Rosa examined them with a horrified kind of curiosity. She stuck one in her thumb and it drew more blood. They were real. Oh my gosh, that's creepy. They had materialized in her throat while casting the spell on Gilmay. Rosa wiped her mouth. There was something wrong with him. Something potent and dark. Or could it be that she had merely botched the spell horribly? Oh, I would be very concerned if that sort of stuff happened to me. She had pushed her limits this time. She had gone too far. But still, a tugging concern was forming. It was as real as the metal needles in her hand. Rosa tried to stand up on her feet, but she was exhausted. Her knees failed her. She crumpled on the floor like a rag. Oh boy, let's see. We either can go if I knew it, or we must get to the bottom of this. Are you quite alright, my darling? Now you see it too. There was a sinister force at work. Get up. We have a lot of work to do. We must find out what he is and stop him. Rosa stared at the needles in her hand. Who are you really, Gilmay? What happened? Hello? Oh, there we go. Okay, chapter 3, Portraits Candlelit. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna save. Yes, please overwrite that. And then we will just go to the main menu. Yes. Wow, okay, so that got really creepy near the end. But hey, we're up to chapter 3, so thankfully we not only finished chapter 1, but chapter 2 wasn't very long. And also, just as a heads up, I'm probably gonna have to do a quick little cut in the video. Like I said, I apologize for that unexpected interruption. But still, this is getting interesting. Very, very interesting. I honestly thought this was a love story. Now I'm being proven wrong, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Maybe it's a darker love story or something. But anyway, despite that though, if you are enjoying this so far, and just so everyone knows, we still do have episode 1. I know episode 1's kind of a long one, but like I said, I will try to pace these episodes better to where they won't be as long. But if you enjoyed this episode, you know, like, fave, subscribe, all that good stuff. And with that said, I will see you guys around later. Much. Bye.